welcome to Life in Envelopes. I am Jennifer Bleecher. This channel is all about planning and budgeting. So if those are topics, look at this one. Here, I know you hate it when I talk to my friends. I know you hate it. I'm sorry. You gotta do it, Mark. So this is gonna be the most like wacky, disjointed video ever. So to start with, I've already filmed. I've already filmed this whole video, but we can't watch it. It's like unwatchable. I'm sitting here trying to edit it, and I must have had something on the lens because it keeps doing that thing where it like it's trying to focus, so it's like going out, going fuzzy, coming back in, and it like almost makes me seasick. Okay, you're here for the budget. Let's get to the budget. So there was a really funny part in that video that I filmed already that I had to share with you. So I'm gonna share that clip with you really quickly, and then I'm just gonna have to talk you through what we did now that I have my lens like extra clean. Okay guys, let's jump in and see how this month went. We're gonna close out the month of October. By the way, if you notice my nails, these are those press-on nails from Target again. They were $6. I'm loving these. I feel like they're just the way to go when you're on a budget.
I made the noises.
You did make the noises.
I made the noises.
I'm recording a budgeting video.
Well, I'm just going to talk right through the whole thing. Hello. Are all the internet people in there? Hello, internet. Are you in there? Hello? Okay.
So, I'll give you the bad news since I'm giving it to them.
What?
So we had to dip into our $500 cushion.
No.
This week. Yeah.
No, I need that for to rest my head on. That's my cushion.
So I haven't finished the budget yet, but that's where we are. Just so you know.
Well, I don't want to be there. I'd like to be somewhere where we have $1,000 cushion.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. You know what? Let's dream big. $1,000 and one.
Okay.
$1,001.
You want me to change the goal to 1,001?
Yes.
You heard it here first, guys.
All right, Bill. That's how you do it. Bookkeeping 101. 1001.
Bye, baby. Have a great day at work.
Bye. I love you.
I love you. Okay, guys. I'm totally leaving that in. See, this is why I don't get too upset about things, because I have an awesome partner who always makes me laugh and keeps everything light. And he always tells me we can do it, like no matter what, that we can do it. So I'm very lucky. Okay guys, hopefully my lens is totally clean now and we don't have any more of those zooming in and out issues. So let's talk about what happened this week. So normally I would lay all this down with you, but I've already done all that since this is the second filming of this video. So as you would have seen in the clip with David, we had to dip into our $500 cushion. So let's figure out where that went wrong. So Sam's Club came out. We weren't expecting it to come out. It came out automatically. Normally we're given the option to renew or not, and this year they just did it automatically. So we were quite shocked when $110 came out of our bank account this week. We weren't expecting it. It was a low income week, so it did hit us pretty hard. Loan number 2 came out, and that was $142. We budgeted that. That's how much came out. Spending was $5. That's what we budgeted. We usually do 45, 20 for me, 20 for David, and 5 for Logan. We didn't have enough income this week to do all of those, but we still did the $5 using some buy me a coffee money to cover that expense for Logan's spending money. We skipped savings challenges this week. Sinking funds were $30. We were able to do that because we had that Buy Me a Coffee money, the tips from Buy Me a Coffee. Buy Me a Coffee is a tipping app. We never ever expect to receive tips, and anytime we do, we are so grateful to the individuals who tip us, and we try to make really good use of that when we do get it. Okay, food was $203, which is not much more than we normally spend on food, but I was going to try to spend less this month. I have my parents here, this week. I have my parents here this week, and they are actually paying for and cooking several meals for me, but I still did 2 meals, and actually that's what I normally do during the week. I normally make 2 meals, and then we portion out the servings, and we eat them, like the leftovers, throughout the week, kind of like we make our own like little frozen meals with it. So I don't know why I thought I could do it for $100. That was just not possible. So we did spend $203 on those 2 meals, plus all the normal groceries that I get for breakfast items, lunch items, things like that. We didn't spend any money on gas, and unfortunately we had several expenses that came up this week that I wasn't planning on, so they were miscellaneous expenses. It totaled $100. It just amazes me how quickly things can add up, you guys. So let's take a look at the budget, starting with our fixed expenses. So David, my husband David, he is paid once a month. He makes $21.28. It's a fixed amount, which is super nice because we know we can always count on it and we know exactly how much it's going to be. So his income covers all of these fixed expenses, and we actually were a little bit above budget. I mean, a little bit below budget. So we had an extra $19 after everything was said and done with his check and all the bills that we had to pay for that. My income covers our week-to-week budgeting, and it's been a rough month. So I try to pay myself $507 a week. I have some really good weeks in Etsy, and I have some really low weeks in Etsy, but to try to keep things even, I always try to pay myself $507, which is, can be quite a bit lower than I make, or it could be quite a bit more than I make, but that's my goal, is to pay myself $507. Well, this first week I was only able to pay myself $342. The second week I was able to pay myself $507. The third week I was able to pay myself $507. And then this last week, this fourth week, I was only able to pay myself $257. As you can see, we also had several buy me coffees this month, so we were able to use that money to pay for, actually this month we used it mostly to pay for expenses that we have in our budget. So taking a look at week 4, this is the week we just completed. So we had loan number 2 that comes out automatically from our bank account every week, exact same amount. We set aside $5 for garbage. That was actually because of the Buy Me a Coffee. I was able to put $5 towards garbage, 10 towards Alliant Energies, that's the gas for our house, and 5 towards WW. So altogether this came to $162. So $297 minus $162 is $135. So bringing that down here to our variable expenses. Unfortunately, this is where we really went off track this week. We budgeted $100 and we spent $203. So like I said, that's very typical for us to be in that $200 range for groceries. I was trying to do $100 this week. That was an unrealistic goal. I realize that now, and going forward, when I need to save money, that's not where I'm going to try to take it from, because that's just not realistic for us, and it's like setting myself up for failure when I do that. So gas, we didn't need gas, so that was great. I was going to try not to spend anything on miscellaneous this week, and unfortunately several things came up and it did total $100. Logan got his $5 of spending, and again we used part of that $40 from Buy Me a Coffee to cover that expense. So altogether we spent $308 in this category over here, making our total negative $173. So coming up to sinking funds, these were actually covered, and we did the cash stuffing in last week's budget video. These were covered by the Buy Me a Coffee tips, but when I have it in my budget here, it's $30 of expenses, and we were already negative $173, so now we're negative $203. Now I did something wrong with my calculations because this is my last week, and it does not match up with what I had in my account. I needed to put $320 into my account, or use $320 from my $500 savings. So somewhere in my budget this month, I did something wrong, because here it says that I was negative $203, but I was actually negative $320, like according to my bank account. So $320 minus $203. So I'm off by $117 somewhere in my account this month. I don't know what I did, somewhere in my budget. Hello friends, future Jennifer here. As I'm sitting here editing the video, I see where at least 110 of that 117 went. 110 of that went to that Sam's Club membership because I didn't write it down on the budget worksheet. I put it down on the calendar, but not on the budget worksheet here. So that's 110. So I'm still missing $7 somewhere. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to figure out what happened there, but we can still do this breakdown. It's just not going to be 100% accurate because there's $100 and some that I don't really have accounted for. Okay, so we started the month with 0. We earned $3,741. We had $120 in Buy Me a Coffee tips. We used $320 from savings, so our total monthly inflow was $4,181. This is the amount that we spent on each budget category and the percent of total monthly inflow that it was. So to calculate the total monthly inflow, you take the monthly spent. So for bills, that would be $794, and you divide that by the total monthly inflow, which is $4,181. Now that will give you a decimal point. So if you want to see the percentage, you just multiply it times 100 and it will tell you the percentage. So let's just do the first one together. So 794 divided by 4181. That's 0.189. So if you multiply that times 100, you see 18.9. So 19% of our inflow went to paying bills. Debt was $2,094, and that was 50% of our inflow. Food was $773, and that was 18% of our inflow. Gas was $40, and that was 1% of our inflow. Miscellaneous was $175, and that was 4% of our inflow. Spending was $100, and that was 2% of our inflow. Savings challenges totaled $95 this month that we were able to save, and that was 2% of our inflow. And sinking funds was $105, which was 3% of our inflow. Okay, looking at the monthly debt and savings breakdown, starting with the debt. So for debt, you look at the total monthly inflow, and you look at the monthly debt payoff amount, and then you can use that information to calculate the percent of inflow to debt. So we spent $2,094 on debt. Our inflow was $4,181. So $2,094 divided by $4,181, that's 50%. So 50% of our inflow went towards debt. So so we also can break this down by debt category and see how much of each debt category went to, how much of that went to each debt category. For example, mortgage was $1,335. Well, that's 64% of this amount. So 64% of this amount went towards our mortgage. 6% went towards our SUV, 3% went to student loans, and 27% went to loan number 2. Okay, let's take a look at savings. For savings, we don't look at the total monthly inflow, we look at the total monthly income. So it doesn't include the extra money that we got or the savings that we put in here. It's strictly the amount of money that we actually made this month. So out of the money that we actually made this month, we were able to set aside $200 towards savings goals. And there's two different ones that we have. We have our savings challenges and we have our sinking funds. So I should say there's two categories because we have several sinking funds. So we were able to put $95 towards our savings challenges. So of that $200, 48% went towards savings challenges. We were able to put $105 towards our sinking funds. So of that $200, 52% went towards sinking funds. Okay, let's compare October to September. Okay guys, so let's take a look at the monthly spending comparison. So she asks you to document the inflow change, but I like to look at both the inflow and the income change because inflow is, you know, everything that comes in, and income is what you actually make. And since our income is variable, I like to see how this month compared to last month. So if you look at just the income, we made $73 less this month in income than we did the month before. But as far as our inflow goes, we actually had an extra $147 to work with, and that's because I ended up using some of my $500 sinking fund. Okay, so not sinking fund, $500 cushion, which we're going to sort out when we do the cash envelope stuffing video this week. Okay, so let's take a look at each category and how they change this month. So for bills, because we ended up spending that $110 on our Sam's Club membership, we actually spent 5% more of our budget on bills this month. We also spent 5% more of our budget on debt. We spent 4% less on food. Look at that. We spent $1,030 in September, but only $773 in October. Wow, I'm impressed with us. Okay, gas. Oh, another big change. We only spent $40, where last month we spent $110. So that's a difference of 1%. Miscellaneous was $175 versus $224 in September. So that's a difference of 1%. So these are all good things. spending. We gave ourselves less spending money this month because we had less income, and that's less of that income that I bring in, and that's where our spending money comes from. So we actually spent 3% less of our budget on spending this month. Savings challenges and sinking funds was exactly the same, 2% and 3%. Okay friends, so that is it for the monthly budget closeout for October. Tomorrow we're going to set up November, and I'm super excited because one, I already know we have a full amount to work with as far as income goes, and two, we received several buy me a coffees from very generous friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't wait to share with you tomorrow I'm going to give shout outs to everybody who gave us a buy me a coffee. I'm going to show you exactly where that money is going to go. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to do tomorrow's budget. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, will you please give it a thumbs up? And I will see you all again next time. Bye everyone.